Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Uruguay. We are live in Mercedes, the first of the two stops in this country for TCR South America. We are opening round number 5. This is 280 kilometers from Montevideo, the capital city of Uruguay.
Aquí en Mercedes.
¿Qué tal, Marcelo?
15 cars are getting ready to open
Ahí vemos la panorámica de un
15th round of the tournament. We have a very nice weather.
Un circuito que tiene una primera curva muy
Some delays in
desafiante, que se
the
divide en dos partes, como si fuese una curva 1 y 2, pero que se unifica en su tránsito.
Day.
Y después una parte lenta de una horquilla que empieza a definir una parte en
We have
un
a
sector
really
de embajada que
interesting
vuelve a
weekend
trepar y
ahead of
vuelve a
us.
para salir a la recta principal. Lindo circuito, ya se han bajado en más de 2 segundos. El récord que se logró el año pasado de parte de Gali Dosman en la práctica 1 de hoy. Nelsinho Piquet lo bajó en 2 segundos, 2 décimas.
2 seconds faster lap times than the existing records of the track.
17 grados la temperatura, 25 en la pista. Está bárbaro, el circuito. Ahí veíamos marca de neumático, pero no se asuste. Esto no es del TCR, sino del drift, que dio un espectáculo extraordinario. No solamente hoy, sino ayer en la ciudad de Mercedes. Estos son los participantes de esta fecha, con la novedad de la incorporación del piloto oriental, Joaquín Cafaro, que está corriendo el uruguayo con el equipo PMO.
Here we have the entrance with the debut of 19-year-old Joaquín Cafaro from Uruguay. He was the touring car champion in 2023 in his nation. Therefore, a very nice prospect. He enters. Here we have the Paladini Racing Garage.
Muy buenas tardes a todos, boa tarde a los amigos de Brasil. Aquí estamos en plena calle de boxes, donde en minutos más se va a habilitar la pista para el primer corte clasificatorio del TCR South America Banco BRB. Tuvimos unos entrenamientos aquí en Mercedes muy interesantes, con Nelsinho Piquet, que fue muy rápido, con Lionel Parrilla, que estuvo trabajando mucho en la puesta a punto, al igual que Rafa Reis y también Pedro Cardoso. Y hubo 2 pilotos que pudieron girar poco en los entrenamientos. Fabián Gianantuoni, con un problema en el servo de la caja de velocidades que ya pudieron solucionar. Y también el local, Joaquín Cafaro, dio 4 vueltas, se le había salido una rueda, pero después sobre la parte final del ensayo pudo mejorar. Y veremos qué pasa en la clasificación, que en minutos ya se va a estar habilitando la pista.
Fabián Gianantuoni
suffered está todo preparado.
A problem in the gearbox that was already sorted out. Joaquín Cafaro lost a wheel in practice number 2. Ended up in 9th place after a promising 7th position in the first practice that was led by Nelson Piquet Jr. Both practice sessions were led by the Brazilian, who was in the headlines all around the world after a sort of a prediction or spoiled news on the future of Formula 1. 4 times world champion Max Verstappen and his future in the series. The plane is taking off, and so is Q1 as the cars are heading out on track once again, opening round number 5 of TCR South America 2025 season. My name is Francisco Aure, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to the qualifying session from Mercedes, from Uruguay. Here is Gennaro Raceto leading the pack ahead of Gianantuoni. Then is Juan Angel Rosso. Luis Ramirez, the driver from Panama. There is the rookie Cafaro, who is heading out on track soon on his PMO Racing Peugeot. Cars are now going through turn 1 and 2. This is turn number 3. With some nice uphills and downhills this track in Mercedes. This is turn number 4. a tight left turn, followed by a similar one, turn number 5 here. Then a fast right turn, which is turn number 6. This one they are taking now. Fast turn to the right. And another hairpin, turn number 7. Then we have a double. 3 turns to the right, turn 8 here around the tire pile. Turn 9. And the last one, as you can see the traces on track, those are the drifting cars that gave a big show earlier today. And here is Gennaro Rasetto heading out onto his first flying lap, so he's doing the rest of these cars that had now got out on track. We have the clock ticking down already. Rasetto leading the way ahead of Rosso and Ramirez. "17 minutes remaining." Rasetto heading out onto the last part of the track as we're waiting for the first lap times to be placed on. Here is Juan Angel Rosso setting 1:19.0. Ramirez 3/10 behind. Rasetto headed onto the garage. Same did Enzo Gianfrati, the man from Port Hack Racing. Coming out on from turn 3 is now Rosso possibly cooling down. Mariano Pernilla sets a lap time that is not at full speed. We see Rosso leading the way 1:19. Remember, for you to compare, the quickest lap times today in the free practices were around 1:17.5, which is the lap time from Nelson Piquet Jr., who led free practice 2 ahead of Rafael Reis in the Cupra of W2 Pro GP, and Leonel Pernilla in 3rd, Gennaro Rasetto in 4th, Mariano Pernilla in 5th. That was what happened in first in the second practice. Here is Rosso. We'll see if he now goes for another flying lap. Improving 1:18.56. Ramirez also improving his lap time, 1:18.93. The only 2 cars that are on track. We'll see if they now back up a little bit. Mariano Pernilla improves his lap time and heads to 2nd position apparently. 2 laps is what these tires can give before needing to cool down. Here comes Mariano Pernilla, the former footballer born in Argentina but represented Spain in the 2006 FIFA World Cup 4 years before the title they lifted in South Africa in 2010. And here he is on car number 55. This is Mariano Pernilla, who's now backing off. And it's heading into the pit lane. We have only 3 lap time sets, as we can read on screen. Rosso, Mariano Pernilla, and Luis Ramirez. That's the newcomer, Joaquin Cafaro, from Uruguay, going through his first attempt. General Raceto also in his lap, going to the 4th place. We have 12 minutes, 13 minutes almost remaining in the clock in this Q1 in Mercedes. The first of the 2 stops we'll have in Uruguay. Raceto on his way to complete his first lap time, apparently. Here is Raceto on his way to complete the lap time. Let's see where he is ranked. And goes to the top, 1.118.3, 2/10 of a second clear from Juan Angel Rosso. Rafael Reyes jumps into 4th, and Pezzini now takes the lead, as more cars are now heading onto the track. Mariano Pernilla now back in the garage, back in pits. Behind him is Gian Antuoni. And, well, it seems the Honda YPF Racing team wants to make a team play and have all the cars pulling together in the slipstream. Might be worth a try. As we have here Leonel Pernilla, the man who made his debut in a TCR World Tour after 15 years after taking part in the WTCC round in Italy back then in 2010. Took a spell and had his first experience in TCR World Tour. The World Division of TCR, the pinnacle of the series. And where I think we might hear more South American noise in the upcoming months. Pernilla fighting against the big giants of Europe. 10 minutes remaining. Leonel Pernilla here taking turn number 7. Heading into turn number 8 here. From turn 9 to 10, and here is Leonel Pernilla about to complete his lap. Let's see where he ends up being placed. We have 9 cars with lap time sets. Pernilla jumps into second place. Into the lead is Leonel Pernilla, Thiago Pernilla in second. Now Pedro Cardoso takes second place, 117.0. Nelson Piquet Jr. was so far in third place, but it's a big gap by Leonel Pernilla, apparently. We only have Fabian Gianantuoni to head out on track. This is the second half of this Q1 as the cars there break into turn number 7. As you can see, this track has many different layouts. Pedro Cardoso, the series champion, is about to open another lap apparently, unless he goes into the pits. Let's see what he does. He goes into the pits. Yes, he does. On a PMO Racing Peugeot, who was placed 4th in the first practice and 6th in free practice 2. 8 minutes, 15 remaining. This is Leonel Pernia back in his pits, as most cars are doing now. So we have a few cars on track as we can see yet. That's the long turn number 1. 2.96 kilometers is this circuit. Here is Juan Angel Rosso, as far as now in 9th place. Gian Antoni didn't head out on track yet. Juan Angel Rosso. Mariano Pernia climbs up to 4th, and let's see Juan Angel Rosso jumps into 6th place. Look how packed it is from 4th to 12th. 4th to 11th, we have 0.3 of a second splitting from 4th to 11th place. This is 4th place, Mariano Pernia. Mariano Pernia here. The cars, they're taking turn number 7. Nine and 10 as one of the cars was going into the pit lane. Juan Angel Rosso there. 1 second off the pace. And Pernia has really posted a big lap time, nailing it perfectly. As the lap times are improving pretty much throughout this weekend comparing to the previous existing records, and also the times set in the free practices. This is beating by a handful of tenths. What we carried from the free practices as we are in the last 5 minutes of Q1. The Cupras here, Rafael Reis and Fabrizio Pesini. Here is the debutant, Joaquin Cafaro, 19 years old. Had a really big impact with some really good performances in Argentina this year in touring cars. Apart from winning domestic titles in his nation, being only a teenager. Youngster Cafaro, who might be participating. Is he stopping? That seemed to be too much of backing off That's why it looks intriguing. Raseto so far in 10th. Ciriano, Nienkotter, and Gian Antoni are by now the ones that are being knocked out in this Q1. Pedro Cardoso remains in 2nd, Piquet Jr. in 3rd. Here is Raseto, Gennaro Raseto, who is in the meantime in 4th place. A good performance. He'll be getting through to Q2 with some good references. Rafael Reis is in 5th, closing down another lap. Let's see if he can move up. He does to 3rd. Pesini takes 3rd after. Fabrizio Pesini still with the pain of the last win in Termas de Rio Hondo, where his hood came off and blocked his view in the last lap. There's Rafael Reis. Last minutes remaining.
Fly with caution.
Adrian Ciriano trying hard to make it into Q2. He'd need to force off Enzo Gianfrati. Here is the gentleman driver from TCR Trophy, who races alongside Gianfrati and Nienkotter in that division. He is on his last attempts, trying to secure a spot in the next group. And he couldn't succeed. So this gives us Leonel Pernilla as the fastest driver, Pedro Cardoso in 2nd, Fabrizio Pesini in 3rd, Rafael Reis in 4th. Leonel Pernilla is in 4th. in first. In fourth in the end is Rafael Reis. I thought I said Tiago Pernilla, but see, he's in 7th place. We had Giriano and Nian Cotter knocked out, as well as Gian Antoni, who failed to make a lap. And we'll start from the back of the grid, as we have the standings on screen. Pernilla, Cardoso, Pesini, Reis, Piquet Jr., Raceto, Tiago Pernilla, Mariano Pernilla, Rosso, and the rookie Cafaro, rounding off the top 10. We're flying through with the drone. We have there PMO Racing ahead next to Palladini Racing and Honda YPF Racing, the team led by Sebastián Martino. As we are awaiting now for Q2, where we'll have the pole sitters in both events, in both race 1 and race 2.
Fue una clasificación muy difícil para él, no pudo girar
Was a
Fabián
hard
Gianantoni.
qualifying
Queremos
for
saber un
Fabián
poco
Gianantoni.
cuál fue el motivo. Habían
to
cambiado por un lado
see
el
what
servo de la caja
happens.
en los entrenamientos, también el compresor.
You've repaired
Y
the
ahora
gearbox.
otro problema que te impide clasificar.
Bueno, buenas tardes, la verdad que sí, un día complicado para nosotros.
Yeah, it's a
Un
tough
problema
day.
que arrancó desde muy temprano, en los primeros entrenamientos ya arrancó ese problema en la selectora, no sé, en el compresor. Hemos
We had a
cambiado
problem
muchas
in
piezas,
the-
parecía que se había
The gearbox, we
solucionado
had to replace many
final del
parts.
segundo entrenamiento, donde pudimos
By the
girar
end of
apenas una
practice
vuelta.
2, it looked
Y ahora
sorted out.
seguimos y apareció el problema nuevamente, así que
And
bueno,
now we
una
have
lástima, un
the
sábado
problem once again.
que no pudimos hacer prácticamente nada. Y bueno, ojalá podamos trabajar para mañana y solucionar el problema para poder
We hope we
correr
can.
mañana.
A pasar
Fix this
página
and
y que se
race
pueda
tomorrow.
solucionar el problema. Gracias, Fabián.
Dale, cariño para ustedes y que sigan bien.
Ahí estaba la explicación del
Fabián
problema que
Gianantoni
tuvo
giving the
Fabián
explanation.
Gianantoni.
Yeah, the problem that looked to be resolved in the gearbox wasn't actually sorted out. Beautiful view from Uruguay as we are reaching 4:30 p.m. there in this winter season in the Southern Hemisphere. Therefore, by the end of Q2, we'll have a bit of a sunset starting. cars are ready for Q2. 17 Celsius degrees. That's 62.6. Fahrenheit degrees. 25 Celsius degrees on track. That equals 77 Fahrenheit degrees for you to have the reference wherever you are in the world. The 12 cars are
Bien, y ahora estamos
sets.
con Adrián Chiriano. Faltó poco
We'll hear from
para
Adrián
el
Chiriano.
pase a la Q2
He left
en
a
un
little
sábado
bit
donde tuviste
to
mucho
make it to
trabajo,
Q2.
Adrián. ¿Cómo estás? Buenas tardes.
You had plenty of work
Buenas tardes.
today.
Bueno, primero agradecerle a todo el equipo, a Víctor Tubos, a Seba Martino, a todo el equipo Honda Racing. Sí, arrancamos complicado la mañana. Primero un
started
problema en la
on a difficult
butaca,
morning.
después problema con el piso. Eso
Had a trouble in my
nos
seats.
hizo perder
Then trouble
el shakedown, perder
The
la
floor of the car, we
tanda de
missed the
trophy
shakedown for that.
y parte de la primera tanda. Y bueno, eso para nosotros que necesitamos girar, que no conocía el
And of
circuito y
course, we
demás,
need those laps on
lo
track.
pagué un poco caro, pero bueno, después nos fuimos
Paid up
acomodando
a high price for
el
that.
resto de la jornada.
En la parte final
The rest of
de
the
la
day.
tanda, buscando una vuelta más. ¿Cómo
In the
fue
end, you were
ese
trying to
último
get
intento?
one more lap.
Sí, tal cual habíamos quedado con Leo y Tiago que iba con ellos la primera salida.
Yeah, we
Habíamos
arranged
hecho un
that I
tiempo,
would
pero
join
no estábamos
Leonel and
dentro.
Tiago.
Después pusimos otro juego de goma adelante e hicimos
Then
un intento
we
más. Nos faltó un
put new
poquito,
tires
pero
at the
bueno,
front
sabíamos
to
que
do
iba
one
a
more
estar
attempts.
difícil para pasar, pero bueno, hicimos el intento,
But it
creo que
wasn't
tiene un buen
easy.
balance. Así que
The
esperemos
car has a
tener
good balance
una buena
anyway.
carrera mañana.
Adri, gracias. A pensar en
And
mañana.
we hope
Bueno,
to have a
gracias
good
a todos y nos
race
estamos viendo mañana,
tomorrow.
si Dios quiere.
Says
La palabra
Adrián
de
Chiriano
Adrián
from
Chiriano.
TCR Trophy. He ended up in 13th place. Just 0.2 of a second behind Enzo Gianfrati, missing the ticket to Q2. Marianian Cotter finished behind him. And, as we said, Fabian Gianantuoni Everything is getting ready for Q2. We see the Hondas and the Peugeots. And here out of the cars, heading out on track. For Q2, the last parts of the qualifying session in Mercedes. As you can see, the sun is slowly starting to fade away. We have the last 9 minutes awaiting for this. We'll know the pole sitter for race 1 and race 2 that has the reverse grid. Here's Nelson Piquet Jr., who is we have 4 Brazilian drivers, 1 from Panama, 1 from Uruguay, and 6 from Argentina in Q2. Nelson Piquet Jr. here opening his lap. There is Nelson Piquet Jr. moving through. .17.3 for Piquet. 2 tenths behind is Pedro Cardoso. Pernia, Lionel Pernia placed 1:16.9. That's a massive improvements. Piquet Jr. is in second, Reyes in third, Cardoso in fourth, Mariano Pernia in fifth, Rosso in sixth, Thiago Pernia, Pesini, Raceto, Ramirez in 10th, ahead of Cafaro and Gianfrati. Five minutes remaining. Fabrizio Pesini possibly taking another lap. And as the sun is starting to set, the track is cooling down, and that might help late improvements in between the different parts of the field. So don't be surprised if somebody shows up later in the last seconds after having a better conditions. 3 minutes and a half. Two minutes and a half remaining. This is Pedro Cardoso so far in 4th position behind Rafael Reyes. We have a 1-2 for Hondas. One minute and a half, and the field seems to be untouched as far as now. Rafael Reyes in 3rd, closing another lap. We're opening the last attempts as everybody is now in that. Piquet jumps into the lead, 1:16.92. Let's see what Mariano Pernilla does. They're crossing the line, jumps to 3rd, and possibly it has room for another one if the tires of the car can be in temperature for 2 consecutive laps. Last 15 seconds. So we'll see the checkered flag very, very soon. There is another car heading out. Here's Nelson Piquet Jr. Braking in turn number 7. Pezzini moves to 4th. There's Piquet Jr. about to complete his lap. He could find no improvements, but still is in 1st. Lionel Pernilla in 2nd, Mariano Pernilla in 3rd, Pezzini in 4th, Reyes in 5th, Pedro Cardoso in 6th, Rosso, Pernilla, Raceto, and Ramirez as far as now. And it seems we have a pole sitter, and it is Nelson Piquet Jr. for race 1, Luis Ramirez for race 2. As we watch Joaquin Cafaro, who ended up in 11th. Here is our pole sitter, Nelson Piquet Jr. Cafaro missing the reverse grid pole for just 0.2 of a second from Luis Ramirez. Here is our final standings. Nelson Piquet Jr. in first, Leonel Pernilla in second, Mariano Pernilla in third, Fabrizio Pesini in fourth, Rafael Reis, Pedro Cardoso, Juan Ángel Rosso, Thiago Pernilla, Gennaro Rasetto, and Luis Ramirez in 10th place. Here is our pole sitter. Here is Piquet Jr. Sets in another pole position. In TCR South America. Nelson Piquet Jr. here, he is the Brazilian driver. The photographers trying to get his picture.
Estamos con el señor Piquet, que se quedó con la pole position, segunda de manera consecutiva en el TCR South America Banco BRB. Felicitaciones, parabéns, una
Nelson
gran
Piquet
vuelta
Jr.
para mejorar en la parte final, señor.
Great
Sim,
lap
foi fácil.
at the end. It wasn't easy.
Pouco de trânsito em toda a classificação.
Had some traffic.
Mas o Honda estava muito rápido desde os treinos, mesmo com os 40 quilos de.
But the Hondas were very quick, even with 40 kilos
sucesso da última carreira, estávamos
of compensation
muito bem.
weights.
Penso que dava para ser pouco melhor, mas bom, conseguimos na pole, conseguimos
margin
os
to improve
pontos
a
que
bit more,
queríamos, que é muito importante para o campeonato.
But we got the pole position,
E
which was
agradecer
our
a toda a
target.
equipe, fizeram bom
I
trabalho.
want to thank all my
Seba
team.
y toda a equipe, gracias. Com este coche é mais fácil.
¿Cuál va a ser la clave para mañana, pensando en las carreras, Nelsinho?
Marcar o maior número de pontos, esse é sempre as mesmas.
What's the key for
estratégias.
tomorrow?
Bien, a
Collecting
disfrutarlo
as many
ahora y
points
te
as
llevas
possible.
también el premio de la categoría, el reloj de Seiko, y felicitaciones por esta
And
pole
the
position.
Psycho Watch.
Bueno, ahí estaba Nelsinho Piquet,
As
el
the
más
prize.
rápido de este sábado de clasificación aquí en Mercedes. Bien, continuamos con más pilotos después de lo que fue esta clasificación y en este caso el local, Joaquín Cafaro, que yo quiero que haga un análisis de lo que fue esta primera
the
tanda
home
clasificatoria,
driver, Joaquín
Joaquín,
Cafaro.
aquí
Please
en
give
tu
us your
tierra,
thoughts.
en el circuito de Mercedes.
Bueno, hola para todos. Sí, la verdad que se nos complicó bastante el día. Arrancamos positivo, pero bueno, después una falla mecánica en el entrenamiento 1 y otra en la segunda tanda. Hicieron que podamos girar muy poco. Y bueno, la verdad que nos complicó mucho. Realmente el auto cambia lo que es una goma usada de una goma nueva.
The car changes a lot from used tires to new tires.
Un poco complicadas ahora en la última vuelta. Que veníamos para mejorar, veníamos para meternos en el top 8 o 9. Así que bueno, obviamente que no estoy del todo contento porque bueno, si fuera 10 sí estaría contento, pero 11 justo es una posición muy complicada. Pero bueno, eso es demasiado que estamos acá a pesar de todas las fallas que hemos tenido, así que bueno, saludar a toda la gente de Uruguay que está acompañando.
¿Con qué tipo de auto te encontraste con el TCR South America en esta primera experiencia, Joaquín?
Un auto muy rápido, con mucha carga.
Very quick, loads of downforce.
Este tipo de autos, unos 350 caballos contra 230, 240.
I'm not that used to this much downforce and
así
power.
Que bueno, muy rápido y realmente
I'm used to drive 250 horsepower, not 350.
Porque es eléctrica y
the steering
bueno,
is
eso también es muy
really,
distinto a lo que estoy
really
acostumbrado.
fine.
Pero bueno, una categoría muy linda, muy digamos competitiva. La verdad que bueno, estar acá ya es mucho y bueno, ahora hay que seguir para las 2 carreras que quedan y para
Gracias, Joaquín, a pensar en mañana y a disfrutar con todos los locales.
Dale, muchas gracias, saludar a toda la gente de Uruguay que está, digamos, acompañando en este día tan lindo.
La palabra de Joaquín Cafaro.
Here we have the aerial view of Mercedes. Tomorrow, the races are scheduled to start 9:15 a.m. local time. GMT -3. And 12:15 p.m. race number 2. Of course, we'll have a different weather conditions.
Bien, y junto al panameño Luis Ramírez después de una clasificación donde si ves el lado positivo vas a estar largando adelante en lo que va a ser la carrera con Guille Invertida. Luis, ¿cómo estás? Buenas tardes.
Well, you are on pole for race number 2.
Sí, la verdad es que ha sido un fin de semana o sea, ha sido difícil encontrar lo que es la temperatura de las gomas. La verdad es que con el clima en la mañana como estuvo súper frío y después ahora agarrando un poco más de calor no se nos ha hecho fácil. Pero la verdad es que sí, pues, sacando lo positivo, como lo mencionas, tenemos la pole para la grilla invertida. La verdad es que históricamente las fechas anteriores no ha ido muy bien en grillas invertidas. No hemos podido encontrar ese objetivo, pero Dios primero sea mañana, ¿no? Lo vemos positivo.
¿Un circuito difícil para encontrar un balance entre la parte rápida y la lenta?
Se puede decir que sí.
Is it difficult to find a balance between the fast and slow sections of the track?
Frenadas y las curvas más lentas, buscar esa media. Pero bueno, para eso estamos trabajando. Ahorita nos ponemos a ver la data, con los compañeros de equipo y a sacar lo positivo y
work with the guys in the team.
Gracias, Luis. A pensar en mañana.
See if we can get the best.
Ahí estaba la palabra del piloto panameño Luis Ramírez.
as we are wrapping up our broadcast shortly. We're watching the best of this qualifying session, and with the pole position set by Nelson Piquet Jr., we say goodbye until tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. We'll meet again tomorrow for Race 1 and Race 2 for TCR South America from Mercedes, Uruguay. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow.